guys, well today is day 3 of cutting grain, but I just thought I'd come over here. We got the helicopters back. They're doing their second round of blight spray on the potatoes. There's a lot of guys who are already on their third round of blight spray. So blight is a fungus that kills the potatoes, so you have to spray for it. There's been years where we haven't had to spray for blight at all because there hasn't been blight around, but this year the blight is actually really bad. There's some potato fields of other guys that we've seen that the blight spray, they're on their third or fourth round of blight spray and their potatoes are already dying. And if they're dying right now, we're a good month and a half from harvest. So if they're dying right now, they're not going to have very good yield at all. So we keep spraying ours. Luckily the blight hasn't got to it too much. But yeah, we keep spraying ours. None of ours have started to die yet, so I don't think we have blight too bad. But we got to keep on top of it. It's just something you have to do. You always got to keep on top of those funguses and stuff that can really hurt your crops. But he just keeps going out and spraying all of our fields, so I'm glad we have a helicopter who can do it because we're so close to a lot of houses that the airplanes don't like to spray. Okay, we're out here in the field now. We have the ladder down and everything. You had to climb up on top. We filled it all up with fuel and DEF, and they just got done changing and greasing a bunch of stuff. So we got it all serviced. We're ready to go. We're on a different field than yesterday. So we got the other field done and moved over here, and we'll see how much of this we can get done today. But it should be a good day. So yesterday we cut about 150 acres. So that field we were in yesterday was 130, and then this field behind me, they cut 20 to 30 acres of that yesterday too. So we did 150 to 160 acres yesterday, which is pretty awesome. We've never done that before, but we've still got this open. One last thing we need to do before we can get going is we have a leaf blower right here. So we use the leaf blower to get up in, and we have to blow all the dust off of everything so that we don't possibly start a fire. That's one thing you got to be careful with when you're harvesting grain, is you don't want to have buildup of dust and stuff everywhere, because if something gets hot, then it lights on fire. So that is the one thing you don't want to have happen, is a fire. So we're going to get up. Christopher's going to get up here with the leaf blower. He just opened a chute that's right here. He has to blow all the dust out. So we'll see how that goes. He's going to start blowing. He's got the right spot. There's a little hatch on top. You're supposed to open it up. There we go. Supposed to open up this little hatch, and then you blow down and blow all the dust off of everything, and it comes out the bottom.
Going out much down there?
Yeah, there's a lot coming out down here. Then you just got to blow the exhaust off because it gets some dust on it. Definitely do not want to start a fire. You might want to blow the engine off too.
I will.
Now he's just blowing off the engine.
It's really not dirty.
Says it's not that dirty up there, so that's good. Of course, the engine is clear up on the top, kind of out of the dust. All the dust and stuff comes out of the bottom and the back. So up there shouldn't get very much dust on it.
It's really not that dirty. You know, after 2 days and all that dust, it's not bad.
That's pretty good. But we'll get going here pretty quick. All right, well, he's going now. But what's crazy is in the morning there's a little bit of dew. And because of the dew, it makes the windrows so big. And I know it's hard to tell on camera, but that windrow is so big and nice and fluffy. It's like, that's a perfect windrow for baling. Whereas when there's no dew, you get little windrows like this. It kind of shreds it up more. But when there's dew, it doesn't shred it as bad, so you get nice big windrows. Well, he's almost full. First load of the day. I'm gonna meet him at the other end so he can dump into the grain cart. And that thing looks so nice. Cutting grain. Say what you want. That is a nice combine. Alright. This is gonna be interesting because my step is already dragging on the straw. So I'm gonna try to not get all the straw built up underneath the tractor. That wouldn't be very good. Slow down, slow down. Going too fast. Well, no, I'm not going fast at all. No middle ground with this thing. Okay, there we go. I think we're going the right speed now. I am dragging some straw, but not too bad. This combine is just awesome to even watch. Like just watching it run. So far, the only problem that we've had is we broke a knife because the guard was not there. And I'm trying to think of any other problems. I don't think we've had any other problems with it. Just greasing it. We had to shim the belt. And that's it. Other than that, it's been working great. I know there's been a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, Fendt isn't very good. Fendt doesn't do a good job. They break really easy and all this stuff. Well, I mean, we've done 270 acres in 2 days and have only broke one knife because we were missing a guard. I think it does a pretty good job if you ask me.
Just out here running Grandpa's beast again. Dumping into the grain cart, cutting some grain. Going about 4.5 miles an hour. It's a little bit lighter on the yield. We're probably around 100, 120 bushel yield, but that's tearing over there in the tractor. And we're just dumping into it.
Okay, well, Josh traded me off because now that we're starting to get the bales off the field and stuff, we're trying to get our manure trucks ready so that we can haul manure. But we have one manure truck that's broken. It needs a whole bunch of metal. So I'm gonna go get the metal from the metal store. But I'll be back. I'll bring you guys along with me to go get the metal. So this is what we've got. So this is one of our manure trucks. And this is what the chain is supposed to look like. It's got these little slats across here, but these aren't very strong. And what happened on this side is the slats broke and it wrapped around these cogs and it just broke the whole chain. Here's a piece of the chain right here. It doesn't have any slats on it because they all busted off. The slats they put on it from the factory just aren't very thick. So I'm gonna try to get the same metal because we're gonna build our own chain for that side. But I'm gonna try to get the same metal, just thicker, because it can't be any taller because it has to fit in this little channel right here. So it can't be taller, but I'm hoping I can get thicker metal at least. But I'm measuring to see how much we need, and then I'm gonna have to go get enough metal to basically make a whole new chain for this side. And we have half the chain for one side, but we had to order the other. So we don't even have all the chain, but I'm gonna go get the metal. And once we get the chain, then we can build it and put it together because we're gonna be hauling manure pretty soon. And we're back. We got 5 sticks of this metal. This is the thickest stuff they have that will fit. It's 3/16 1x2s, and that's all we got. So hopefully these don't bend like the old ones did, even though they're basically the same. I am gonna weld them up a little bit better when I do eventually put this together. But for now, I just unhooked it and I'm gonna go back out to the field. All right, we're gonna go hop in with Christopher since Josh is driving the cart right now. And I've never actually been inside this thing while it's running, so this will be kind of cool to see. Now I'm in here with Christopher. Looks like it's a little dusty today.
It is dusty. We can turn it on. Once you wipe around.
Oh, there we go. That really cleared it up. Yeah, this is the first time that I've actually been inside this thing. It's got a lot of buttons over there.
Yeah.
All these different things. I'm sure it can do a lot of stuff that we don't even know about yet.
I do know about a lot of the things it can do. I just don't know if I can figure out how to do them. It has a manual that's about this thick behind the seat.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to sit and read a 2,000-page manual.
It's probably 500.
That looks so cool, just watching the grain funnel into the middle. So yeah, like I've said in the past, this has a draper header, which has these belts. So it cuts the grain falls on the belts, and it funnels it to the middle where there's a belt pulling it in, and then it just pulls it into the middle. It's quiet in here though.
Yeah, I've spent the last couple hours on the phone, I swear. And so it's been nice to get some business done while you're working.
You can kind of see into the bin.
It is pretty...
It's a little dusty in there.
Yeah, the windows are pretty dirty. I didn't clean the bin window today.
But that's a nice view.
I did clean all these windows and that mirror twice. That mirror, you can't see out anymore. That one I cleaned like an hour ago.
Yeah, he has to clean the mirrors off, and the mirrors and the windows off every day. Sometimes multiple times a day.
That one's not a big a deal, but that one you can see. If you look at that one, you need to be able to see if your auger is in or out. And so if you can't see out of that one very good, then you
Can't see much there. But we're getting it done. It's crazy. Is this field? How many acres is this field?
This field's like 110.
110 acres, and we're already probably halfway done with it. Maybe not quite half, because all the rows over there are short. So this thing goes through the grain pretty fast.
Okay, so on this screen over here, just a few things real quick. This is our GPS. You can make it big. You can set it to where it will go off of the yield monitor on how much bushels you're getting per acre. So it'll change colors. But you have to reset it for each field. And it was late last night, I didn't do it for that one. This one up here is our combine. So right there, it's telling you how many bushels you have in the grain tank. The Harvest Plus, I can hold the lever over and it will automatically go forward, speed up and slow down depending on how much capacity you want in your feeder house. That's the percentage of the engine that we're doing. Those 4 bars right there, when you unload, that you can close a gate or open a gate. This green steering wheel means the auto steer is on. This 1 and 2, this one right here is your header, the height off the ground. You have 2 positions. I can push this button right here to go to number 2, which raises it up a couple of inches. Then you can see there's this is the rotor speed, the concave clearance, your fan speed, and your upper and lower sieves. And if you click on that, it comes over here and you can change all of those settings.
Seems like it's a pretty adjustable combine.
Yes, you can change just about everything you need to.
This field has big power lines that go through the middle of it. So we just have to make sure we don't hit anything. It also has risers that run through the middle as well for watering. Josh just rolled up. and we were worried we weren't going to be able to keep them all full, but there's only so many drivers, so they'll pull in with one truck and then they'll hop in the full truck and take off. So, but we're keeping them pretty busy, so that's good. Sorry, I keep switching zooms. One zoom you can see all the stuff on the window, and the other one you can't. So it's just about, and it's trickling out. I just like watching the grain come in. So we were talking about the draper header versus the auger header. The draper header just lays all the grain down and it moves nice and easy into the middle and pulls in. The auger header kind of lays down and then pulls it sideways and then pulls it in. So you might get a little more grain loss with the auger header, but I don't know that there's a ton of benefit from the draper header to the auger header, but I don't know. We like the draper header.
We feel like you can go just a little bit faster with the draper header.
Yeah.
Because everything feeds better.
Yeah.
Right now we're going about 4 miles an hour.
All right, well, we are stopped because of a little breakdown. So this is the gearbox. This shaft goes out, and there's a shaft that goes out and it runs the knives up there. Well, this little piece goes on these splines, and then it bolts to this piece that goes to the gearbox. Well, this piece,
That bolted between.
it has taken all the threads off. All the splines inside of this piece are gone. The shaft is fine, but this is just smooth inside now. It's just worn all the splines off. So we don't have a new one. So we're trying to decide if we want to drill a hole in it and put a bolt through it, or just weld it solid all the way around. But yeah, first pretty big breakdown of this thing.
It's not necessarily a big bad breakdown, it's just we don't have the parts.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal if we had the part. It's just a little tiny, just a little hub. It would take 10 minutes to change it if we had the part. We just don't have the part. So we are trying to decide if we want to weld it or bolt it. But either way, it's going to be a little bit of a job to do. And obviously we don't want to weld it right here because that would definitely cause a fire. So yeah, first breakdown on the Fendt. But I mean, we do have a firefighter and fire commissioner here. So hey, if the fire started, we'd at least have quick response, right?
Yeah, there's a fire extinguisher on the ladder.
Yeah.
Why do you think I parked my pickup by the road? Quick egress out of the field.
You don't want a new pickup, huh, Trevor?
I do want a new pickup, but
Well,
Nope.
park it in the field.
somehow I don't think my insurance will pay for it.
Everybody's parking where their truck won't get lit on fire.
That sucker right there, though. If that thing catches on fire, we're pulling back in the field.
Pull the white truck in the field. Let it burn. That thing's got enough problems. We'll let that one burn. All right, we got this put back together to where we want to weld it. So this slides back and forth. So this doesn't mess up where the new hub goes when we actually get it. We slid it over a little ways, so we're going to weld it. So when we cut the weld off, the new hub will slide up to that weld and then we'll put it on. But yeah, we're just gonna weld that. They don't have that part, so we gotta just weld it on. All right, Christopher's getting ready to weld it. Luckily I can just look through the camera because I wouldn't be able to look directly at it, but I can look through my phone and look at it. And we did pull onto the dirt, so luckily there's no dry grain right here that's gonna light on fire. Except for maybe that little pile that's on the header. Well, we got one side welded. Now we just gotta turn it and weld the other side. The one worry we have is that if you can see, it isn't perfectly straight. But we cannot move this up. We can't get it perfectly straight. It has a little bit of slop in it,
Is there a big?
but when we weld it, there won't be any slop. So That's the one thing we're just a little bit worried about. But we'll get it turned over and weld the other side.
So have you ever heard the difference? What's the difference between a farmer and a welder? A welder doesn't think he can farm.
Yep, we're not professional welders. We just do it a lot.
Now I'll break all the slag off, brush it down, and then maybe put another bead around it. We really don't want it to break again.
Yeah. Now we get to analyze Christopher's welding abilities and see how good he is.
Well, it's better than yours with a stick, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I do a lot more MIG welding.
Look at that beauty of a farmer weld.
Hey, it'll work. He's just putting a second layer over that, make sure it doesn't break. And then we'll turn it on and see if it works. Or if it vibrates so freaking bad that we have to cut it off. Well, it's welded. I haven't chipped the slag off and it's really freaking hot, but it is welded. So we'll see if it works. What we're doing now is the knives. There's two sets of knives. So there's knives on this side and knives on that side, but they have to be in sync. So because this one all came apart, we had to move that side out as far as we could. And now we'll move this side out as far as we can over here, and then they should be in sync when we get it all back together. Okay, he's gonna turn it on, and we're gonna watch and see how it looks. I am standing back a little ways, just in case something comes flying apart. Turned it on and we found another thing that was broken. This brace underneath this bracket right here it just snapped off right there. So we're gonna take that bracket off and we're gonna just weld it back together as well. So it's a good thing we saw that, because this bracket was just flopping around. Okay, so we have it up here in the vise.
Let me go look at one.
And we're going to weld it back together. It's not at a 90-degree angle, so we're going to be welding it at a pretty good angle because it was supposed to be that way.
I think you're a little too steep, Christopher.
I think I held it up there when it was there, and those I figured as long as those were flat, that should be pretty good.
We can always bend it, straighten it out a little bit. Okay, well, the top's welded. We're going to turn it over and weld the bottom. It's hot, but it's welded. So we're gonna let it cool down and then we'll put it back on. That bracket holds this piece of metal up, which is just the track that the belt rides in. So it also holds this piece up, which seems to be a pretty structural brace. So I'll make sure that's in the right spot too. All right, well, we're putting it back on, but I think we're gonna have to straighten it out because I think it's supposed to be a 90-degree angle. We just welded it how the crack fit together. So we'll get it back on and we'll probably have to bend it straight and then get it bolted up. Okay, we had to straighten it to put it on. But it is straight now and we'll put it on there and
cooking
If that
on
weld
loose.
doesn't break, we probably won't ever replace that, but we'll probably get the part just in case it does break.
Tracy sent me a picture of buck fishing.
All right, we're back in business, hopefully. We're driving where this stopped was halfway down the field, so we are driving down there. It's a little bouncy.
You can see the header flex when it bounces.
Yeah, the header, this is a flex header. So when it bounces, it kind of flexes and moves around. Okay, well, we are going again. And if the knives all of a sudden stop on that side, we will know why. It's because the welds broke on that hub we just welded on, so. But for now, it's working. They'll have the new hub by tomorrow at noon, but that we basically lose almost a whole day of cutting if we waited that long. We could cut 150 acres by then. Got to get this done. We have other crops to get ready for, like potatoes and hay, and we have to haul manure. All right, well, Christopher's been teaching me how to run this thing, and it's a lot of buttons. His first go around, you know, he's only broke a half a dozen things. Oh, not really. I did almost plug it up, and yeah, I had to drive around one of these power poles that are out here in the middle of the field. I'm almost plugging it up now because the grain all of a sudden got thicker. But we're going. It's a lot of stuff to watch. The one thing we did have happen is there's all these meters over here on the screen, and then there's these here sieves in the back. Well, the sieves, for whatever reason, it's an electrical issue, and Fendt knows about it. They have new parts, but it all of a sudden closed the sieves. Well, it opened one all the way up and closed one all the way down, and the ladder was like going in and out. So it's an electrical issue. They just have to order a new. There's a little control box in the back, but we had to shut. If you have one of these and that happens, we had to shut it. We had to back up, get the ladder moved, shut it off, and then Christopher went back there and he shut the battery off. So shutting the battery off for a couple minutes, reset everything. Look at that. I just plugged it up. Maybe. Yes, you did. Yes, I did. Let's see. Let's back up. So this is Terrence's first time plugging it up. Now I have to try to explain it to him how to stop it. Okay, so just shut your header off. Just the header. Just the header. Wait. Oh, it took it. Man, you got lucky. All right, fine. Put it back down. Keep going. All right. Gee, how come that never happens so easy for me? I got lucky. Well, he about plugged it.
I was talking to you guys.
But you can see that the combine had no problem taking that full big wad of grain. So, but anyway, shout out to, we did have that problem with the sieves and stuff, but I just keep getting some texts from our salesman from Agri-Service, and they have when you buy one of these, Agri-Service has to buy another combine, exactly what you have. In case yours is broke down for 24 hours, they will supply you with an identical machine, a combine. And so even though they didn't have the part that we needed, that's new, he just texted me and said, hey, I'm going to take one off of our new machine so I can bring it out to you, because I can't have a replacement one here till Monday, and it's Thursday night because they'd order it tomorrow and it wouldn't get here till Monday. So he's going to go take that box off of their demo machine, or our backup machine, you might call it. So shout out to Chris Booth and Agri-Service here in Blackfoot, Agco. They do a good job. Ricky Dugan, their Fendt sales rep, who's over basically this half of the United States. He knows exactly what's wrong with everything, and pretty much exactly how to fix it. So we just call him and he says, yep, do this, and he'll say, I'll call him right now and get the parts ordered, and I can have a tech come out right now and just get you going. They don't want you to be stopped or down just as bad as you don't want to be stopped or down. So, when you're buying any machine, whether it be tractor, combine, baler, whatever you're buying anymore, you're buying service.
and there's a lot of agri-service around here, just like there's a lot of John Deere dealers around here. So you're buying service. We have some good John Deere technicians, just the same as we have a lot of good agri-service technicians that work on balers and swathers and combines. Any kind of any equipment that they sell, they have to become trained on the machines that they sell. So,
but yeah, it is a little stressful learning how to drive a new piece of machinery. Obviously, once you get going, and once you learn what all the buttons do, it's not as stressful.
if you really want to see Terrence stress about running a machine with lots of buttons, go back through our feed and watch our potato harvest, and I bet you can find in there Terran, when I taught him how to run the potato harvester. You don't realize you have so much to watch and move and do. You don't realize that you've been sitting in silence with no radio for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't realize that you haven't taken a drink of water, or you know, you get done and you're like you're almost mentally exhausted after you run it. But after you run this, like I've run this now for what, 3-4 days.
Yeah.
After you run it, you know, I've had my phone on watching the Olympics.
Yeah.
Most of the time, so I can know how everything's set. I know what all the beeps mean, and as long as I'm watching it right here in front of us and it's not plugging, then usually it'll work all right. One thing we do need, Fendt, are some windshield wipers, or let's call them mirror wipers, for the dust on our mirrors so we can see behind us.
Yeah,
So-
they get plugged up pretty good.
It just gets a little dusty.
I was looking for that switch. I didn't know where the switch was.
So, but yeah, Terran's doing pretty good. It does take a little while to get used to all these buttons, and I haven't even shown him what half of the buttons do.
There's a lot of buttons. It's like I'm flying a spaceship.
It is pretty much like you know, Elon Musk and Starlink, whatever. They got nothing on us, right?
We're flying our own spaceship.
Anything else you want to tell? Like and subscribe to our videos. We're gonna have a lot of content come out on this Fendt, and we're gonna try and not be biased, and we'll tell you every single thing that goes wrong with it. Oh, he's trying to plug it again. And we'll tell you what we like and what we don't like, and usually what we don't like, they're fast and eager to get that problem resolved. We did pay a little bit extra. This is a demo machine, but it's got a 5-year warranty. Basically, I would say bumper to bumper, but we'll say the front to the back and everything in between, the whole motor, transmission, every gearbox, every little thing we do on here so far, every little sensor is covered under warranty, bushing, you know, you name it right now. For 5 years, it is covered under warranty. So we'll just have to make sure to trade it at the 5-year mark. Get another machine with 5-year warranty.
Make sure it's under warranty. Of course, you got to know, every time you buy something new, whether it's a car, an RV, a tractor, whatever, it breaks the most the first time you use it, the first year you use it. After you use it for a few years, you've worked all the kinks out, and then it doesn't really break after that.
You know,
Until it gets really old.
This thing only has like 150 threshing hours. It has like 250 engine hours because it was run around as a demo and it sat there idling. But it only has 150 hours on it actually cutting grain, you know, which is only, what, 2 or 3 weeks total? And so we are still trying to wear, they call it wearing the paint off or wearing the rust off. You get it all shined up, and it runs a lot better, runs a lot smoother. And we're able to go a little bit faster to process a little bit more grain and get this project of cutting wheat done that we have to do.
All right. Well, I'm back at the grain cart. Yeah, driving the combine for the first time was a little stressful. It's definitely new. It's something I've never done before. I didn't even run the old combine, but this one, it's got a lot of sensors, a lot of features. So like, once you know how to run it, it's pretty easy. You just have to know what to watch for. But yeah, for the first time, learn how to run it. It's a lot, a lot of. If I hadn't run a whole bunch of other equipment and harvesters and all sorts of things in the past, man, it would be very intimidating to just go from not knowing how to run anything to running that.
All right, well, I'm getting loaded backwards because we ran out of semis and one pulled in at the last minute. My bin was almost full, so he wasn't able to fill it all the way. So I ran over, hurried and dumped in the semi, and then he was already all the way full when I got back. So I just rushed in to get filled so he can keep going. We probably only have 2 or 3 more passes before we're done for the night, just because we don't have any more trucks. So ooh, he started the auger, and the auger shut off, and then he started it back up. They told us that if you did that, you would shear the bolts on the auger if the auger was full of grain. So maybe he doesn't have all the flaps open, but that's a risky move. If you shear a bolt, you have to pull this door open right here, and there's a big pulley under there with a bunch of bolts in it that are extra bolts, and you put one of those in and keep going. But luckily didn't shear a bolt. But yeah, we'll get this drained and we'll get going here in a minute. All right guys, we're about to the end of the day. We only have a couple more dumps from the combine left before we don't have any more room to store it. But before we go, if you made it this far in the video, I know you watch a lot of the videos. So I wanted to announce a little giveaway we're doing. So we were gonna do giveaways about every 10,000 subscribers we got, and then we just got busy and we just didn't do it. We didn't do one for 30,000 or 40,000, and now we've hit 50,000, which is crazy to me, but we're doing a giveaway. So in the link down below, there's a form where you can put your name and your phone number and your email address, and anybody can submit their name, whatever. And then once we get to probably the end of this month, we're gonna go through and we're gonna randomly pick somebody and we're gonna give them 300 bucks. And then we have another giveaway that, because we missed all the giveaways, we're doing a couple. If you have any skills with designing logos or anything, we want you to create a new logo. This is our current logo. We want you to do what you want and create a new logo for the channel. Maybe it could be put on a t-shirt or whatever. We're gonna pick the one we like the best and we're gonna send them 300 bucks. So if you're good at that, make sure to email me the logo that you made and we will pick our favorite and we'll send you 300 bucks.
All right, well, we are now in the nighttime, at least early nighttime, but we got our lights on, so we are cutting. We can't go much more. We don't have any more space. We ran out of semis, so we just have the space of the grain cart is all. But we're still going. Gonna dump this load. This will just be a partial load, but at least he'll be able to do one more round. Man, I am not straight. And then there's a little bit left in one semi. I'll go dump it, and I think he can do 1 or 2 more rounds maybe. It's hard to keep this thing straight when I'm filming. But yeah, we got our lights on now. We're still running. All right, well, I just got done dumping into a semi, finished filling that one up, and I can see his lights flashing, so I'm rushing down there to get to him before he gets full. This last time he had to stop, and I don't want to have to make him stop, so we'll go unload him.
Guys, I just got home and just want to say thanks for watching. Make sure to go down below, fill out that form. You don't want to miss the giveaway, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.